Hi guys, I'm Kushan Mitra and I'm aviation enthusiast and a very frequent flyer, so I know a little bit about aviation. These pictures you see right now are not from recently, so rest assured your aircraft are not falling apart. They are from 2014 when SpiceJet was still owned by the Sun Group and during the last great SpiceJet crisis. I mean, there have been other crises of SpiceJet since, but this was the last great one. They are currently in another great one. So in this video, I'm going to ask, can SpiceJet survive and should you fly on SpiceJet? Keep watching for more. So as I said, I'm a very frequent flyer. Since I started working professionally in 2001, I must have taken over 1,500 flights inside India, domestic legs. And ever since SpiceJet has started flying, I've flown on SpiceJet as well. But here's the thing. SpiceJet has been around since 2005. And since then, I'm possibly can count on my fingers the number of SpiceJet flights I've taken, including the time I took a SpiceJet flight that was operated by Turkish airline crore. And we'll get to SpiceJet using leased aircraft later on in this video. As I said, SpiceJet is in crisis again. Yesterday, the news emerged that Dubai airport has stopped them from using the common use terminal equipment, the check-in equipment at every terminal. The so-called CUT or CUT charges you pay on your ticket is for airlines using this equipment. So SpiceJet passengers in Dubai have not been able to check in for their flights. The planes are coming back from Dubai empty. This followed a couple of weeks ago when Mumbai airport said that they would stop SpiceJet from checking in passengers because they've not been clearing their fees as well in Mumbai. That was dealt with, at a backdoor or backroom consultations, and SpiceJet was still allowed to use Mumbai airport. You can't take out airline from India's second largest aviation hub. Any airline would collapse. Mumbai is not a critical part of SpiceJet's operation, not as critical maybe as Delhi, but it's still critical. Now, why have things come to this pass? One reason I believe SpiceJet has not been able to compete with the others is that just been very poorly capitalized. They've not played the game that, say, an Indigo has, just adding more and more aircraft. Yes, they were the first airline to start with the 737 MAX in India, but because they didn't pay their leasing companies, almost none of these MAX aircraft are flying for SpiceJet anymore. Many of them have gone back to their lessors. They haven't been paying their lessors on time. They're not even paying their employees on time. Stories are emerging about how employees are seeing salaries delayed for over 3 months. And the reason I don't fly too much with SpiceJet is generally the aircraft are in a state of disrepair. The last few times I've flown with SpiceJet, other than the time I actually wanted to fly with them from Delhi to Pune, because I wanted to fly on a 737 MAX again after the grounding was lifted. I've not had much of a choice. I mean, I recently, a few months ago, flew with them from Delhi to Shirdi because I had to get to Nasik by a certain time. Now, while Indigo does operate Delhi to Shirdi flights, and thankfully started Delhi to Nasik flights 2 days after, the day I was supposed to leave Nasik, so I flew back directly from Nasik on Indigo. I had no choice and, got into issues with the gate agent who said my hand luggage was over. He didn't let me check it in, unlike other airlines. It was generally very messy. And, I empathize with the employees because, if you're not getting paid your salaries on time, I know how frustrating that can be. But it was left such a bad taste in my mouth, I swore I will never fly SpiceJet again. And, this is revenue management, right? You get a couple of thousand bucks off me for excess hand luggage or excess cabin baggage. But then you completely irritate somebody. So even if I'm offered a SpiceJet flight because, on a sector, say like Delhi Darbhanga, only is operated by SpiceJet. I'm sure if SpiceJet was to go under, another airline would come into the void. But I wouldn't want to fly on SpiceJet at all. So if I had to go to Nasik again, I would rather fly down to Mumbai and take a car or a cab, drive or take a cab than fly SpiceJet to Shirdi and go to Nasik. I won't fly SpiceJet again. I tell the guys who book my tickets, don't book me on SpiceJet again. In fact, when I was booked to Shirdi on SpiceJet, my hosts on that trip were very apologetic for booking me on SpiceJet. No corporate wants to book you on the airline. And I don't think they realize that that's been a failure of revenue management and everything. Now, the airline is telling everybody they'll get this 3,000 crore investment by December. That's what they're telling the courts. That's what they're telling their employees. That's what they're telling the leasing companies. Is it going to come? I don't know. I mean, this is an airline which has said that they would get 777s from Boeing as compensation for the 737 MAX groundings. Actual statement. It's been printed in the news. I even did a video about this. Do you see any 777s in SpiceJet colors anywhere? This is a time where 777s are going by the dozen to the scrapper's yard because, some of them are now almost 30 plus years old. Anything? Have you seen the supposed compensation that Boeing was supposed to pay SpiceJet for the grounded 737 MAX aircraft? They claim they would get massive amounts of compensation for. I don't know. They've been late in filing their results, and what really surprises me is, despite all this, I guess because they're only Indigo and SpiceJet are listed companies, SpiceJet's share price is doing well. Jet Airways is still listed, but then again, Jet Airways is still listed despite being defunct. The share is still being traded, and it doesn't make sense to me. Buy Indigo shares. I buy because it's going to be around for a while. I hope airlines like Akasa or even Tata's take the new Air India Express, entire aviation holding public. There is a desperate need for more and more paper, for aviation paper in the stock market. So I hope something happens there. But people are trading in SpiceJet despite all these news items appearing, despite everything. So it doesn't make sense. I genuinely hope they survive. They survived very bad situations before, as you saw with the pictures of the dilapidated planes back in 2014. But this time round, I genuinely don't know. This is an airline that's been around since the days of ModiLuft. It started life as ModiLuft at the same era Jet Airways started. That's why they're listed, by the way, because ModiLuft had an IPO back then. They became Royal Airways, they never flew. Then they became SpiceJet. I met Ajay saying back in the day over there, one reason we're called SpiceJet is because they have the .com domain. Anyway, I hope they get an investor. I hope somebody buys them out. We've had too many airline failures. Go First, it's just been, a year and a half since Go First went down. It's been a decade since Kingfisher stopped, Jet Airways. It's all missed. Sahara, Deccan, we've had lots of failures, but it'll be sad to see SpiceJet go. But as I said, they are to blame for some of their own decline. They are to blame for giving such a horrible level of service that you could never attract super frequent flyers. You could never attract people like me. If I'm saying I've taken less than 10 SpiceJet flights in the last 15 years since they've been around, or last 20 years since they've been around, it reflects on them, right? I tell my host, don't buy me on SpiceJet. So that it is. I've only taken one international flight with SpiceJet, Delhi to Dhaka. Again, no choice. But, well, sad. But I hope something happens. I hope White Knight comes along and some new management can take, because it's a great brand, catchy brand. So I hope something good happens to them. Thank you so much for watching. I will be making a lot more aviation content and videos like this. Will you fly on SpiceJet? Do let me know. On Twitter, most of my followers said they would not fly on SpiceJet. So do let me know if you would fly on SpiceJet despite their current predicament. Thank you for watching.